Do you define yourself as a human, or are you something much more? That is what we're talking about in this video. So hello everyone, my name is Autumn Asphodel and I am a coach to help you find your true purpose in life, find out who you truly are, and realize that you are more than just a human being. So that's what we're talking about. Enjoy the video. Do you introduce yourself by your name, age, place you've lived, and what you do for a living? And do these things define you? For instance, hi, my name is Samantha. I am 27 years old, live in New Mexico, and I am a nurse. In this example, Samantha is introducing herself to others, describing things that she feels define her, such as her name, age, location, and career. These are all physical characteristics that describe this individual, but they feel like this is who they are and what defines them. There are many names, traits, skills, careers, etc. that can define someone, yet none of them are that individual. In Samantha's case, does the name Samantha define her? No. Does her age define her? No. Does where she lives define her? No. And does what she do for a living define her? No. None of these things define who she is. They all describe her physical being and what she is doing in the materialistic world, but none of them are her at the deepest level. Is she this person, or is she more than what she appears in the physical world? To understand this, we must take a step back from the ego and from the physical world. The way you describe and define yourself is often based on what you do and who you are in the physical domain. You define yourself by your success and failures in the materialistic world, often putting little meaning behind the reasons you are here in the first place and the lessons you are intended to learn. Because of this, you live in the physical, define yourself in the physical, and others perceive you in the physical. But your consciousness goes far beyond just the physical. You are far more than just a human being. Your physical body is something that binds you, that makes you think in a very, very small spot that you are just a physical being. But that couldn't be further from the truth. You are so much more than your physical body and your physical self. If you define yourself by your name, your age, where you live, your career, then those are all physical things. Those are all materialistic, physical things in the physical domain. So, what can you do then to expand your mind and realize that the life that you're living here in this physical world is but a small little fraction of who you truly are? During your physical existence, it may seem like only the physical domain is real, as you can see, touch, taste, smell, hear, and use all your senses to prove it exists. Yet, unbeknownst to you, there is a whole world that you cannot see, touch, taste, smell, or hear. It is the non-physical domain. Because you cannot prove it with your limited capacity to understand the world, you dismiss it as a non-existent fantasy. Yet that couldn't be further from the truth. You are not a physical being, but rather a spiritual being in a physical body having a physical experience. Your human life is but one small fraction of your total life, of your spiritual self. The reason you don't know about or remember is because of your brain's inability to comprehend. Your brain is physical matter and is limited to what it knows. There are various energy centers in the body that belong to your spiritual self, that all connect the various organs in your brain to your higher self. But even then, you are limited by your brain's capacity to understand and interpret the reality of the situation. You may be wondering, why am I having a physical experience when I could have just stayed a spiritual being? For you see, what connects us all is the collective unconscious. This collection of consciousness gains knowledge about the world by diversifying itself in the physical domain. You are born with a specific purpose, set to learn and grow as your physical body ages. And when you pass away, everything you learned is integrated with the collective unconscious to get a better understanding of the world as a whole. In other words, You are a spiritual being intended to achieve greatness since before you were born. You have a specific purpose that you must accomplish, which is why you were born at the specific time and place into the family you have. Your purpose is always set, even if you don't consciously ever become aware of it. By going through life, you learn and grow, perhaps doing things that seem meaningless and like life doesn't have a purpose. However, this is part of the learning experiences your higher self has for you. When you physically are living your life's purpose, whatever that may be, then there is an even greater connection to your true self, your higher self, your spiritual self, and its ability to gain knowledge and learn. But even if you aren't doing the things you think you were meant to do in the physical domain, then that too is a learning opportunity for your higher self to gain insight into the world. There is no soul that doesn't have purpose. Sometimes that purpose can feel mundane and like you're not actually living your best life. But also remember, deep down at the core of your being, you are a spiritual being learning and growing from the materialistic world you are in. You can connect with your higher self to get better insight into the life you lead. But the ultimate truth is that everything is a learning opportunity, even if you do not consciously see it. It's time to view yourself as a spiritual being first and a human second. Let me know how this works for you. Have a great day. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience. The whole purpose for you to have this experience is to diversify this collection of consciousness, this collective unconscious that groups all of us, every living thing, houses every little living thing and the consciousness within every living thing, is to diversify that, to be able to see things from different perspectives. So every single human being that is born, that is here, has a different perspective. They have a different background, different places that they live, different races, different genders, different sexes. Everything is different. There's not one person in the entire world that is like anyone else. Everyone is unique and different for a very specific purpose, which is diversify this collection of consciousness to gather so much wide array of information and data from the world itself to diversify and to learn. And that is why you are here. You are here with a purpose. You are here with a mission. Even if you decide that, you don't really consciously think that you have any sort of purpose in this world, that you're just working mundane jobs, just making money, just barely getting by. Perhaps your purpose is to do those things, to realize that you're so much more than that. What your career is doesn't define you. Your name does not define you. How old you are does not define you. Where you live does not define you. None of those things define who you are. So what does define who you are? Who you are at the deepest level is what defines you. Far beyond the physical, your spiritual self. Why are you here? What is the reason you are here at this place and this time? There is always a reason why you have chosen to be here at this place and time. And it could be far more than what you think. Far more than just this physical world that you live in and your career. So connect with your true self and you will find that true purpose. Be sure to check out the amazing merchandise over at Asphodel Shop for some inspiring designs. I'm sure you'll find them incredibly nice. Also become a member of $5 up and above to get early access to new content before it is publicly available to anyone else, weeks and months ahead before it is made public. So I want to thank you all so very much for tuning into this video. Let me know what your thoughts are and let me know what your true purpose you have found in this life is. I'm really curious to hear it. So you all take care, have a great one, and I'll catch you later.